Adam Smith, his name still missing from list of ministers. Chronicle being interesting there. And there's some land under threat. Is Swansea Technical Institute. Okay, so that's oral is the big story for today. BFT, picture there of Professor Kobe Mensah, who is calling for cultural asset valuation. He's a big boss of the Ghana Tourist Development Company. And big headline, budget and others take center stage as government and the International Monetary Fund meet. Okay. KGTL market owes ECG 1.6 million cedis. Wow. A lot of money. Graphic business. The man posing is Edward Botry, MD, Absa Bank. And they are empowering growth and success in 2025. T-bill rates eases as investor appetite still remains strong. And there is something on SIM card re-registration. The telecoms chamber is ready to engage. So that's your graphic business this morning. Okay, we're done. I'll be back for a conversation on marriage and divorce later on. But for now, I'm taking you over to Thelma, who has the gentleman ready to have a conversation on the headlines. Stick around.
Thank you so much for the headline stories. The front pages looking quite interesting with lots of focus on oral. We'll be getting some details of that. This is the headline segment on GTV Breakfast. I'm Thelma Taki. Follow this conversation across social media, GTV Ghana, everywhere. Before I introduce my guest, let me bring you the Rand Lottery Big Win Monday for Rand Multi. The winning numbers for today are 47, 50, 81, 33, and 42. The winning numbers for Rand Lottery Big Win Monday Rand Multi. The winning numbers are 47, 50, 81, 33, and 42. 47, 47, 50, 50, 81, 81, 33, 33, and 42, 42. Those are the winning numbers for Rand Multi Monday from the Rand Lottery team. And bringing us into this segment, before I get started, let me introduce you to this new kid on our block. It's the First Choice High Protein Recovery Milk, a convenient milk-based drink designed for athletes and active individuals. It contains 21 grams of protein per every 250 ml serving, so per the box that I'm holding right now. It contains lots of carbohydrates for energy and fortified B vitamins. It is high in calcium, tartrazine-free, and features a bio-based closure for environmental sustainability. It's also germ-free and UHT processed for quality and longer shelf life. Overall, First Choice High Protein Recovery Milk is a nutritious beverage option for those seeking to support their active lifestyle. It's out there on the market, so you can grab one for yourself, and I'm sure that you'll have a very, very nutritious experience when you drink this. First Choice High Protein Recovery Milk on the market now, and we are putting them right here on our table. And I'll introduce my guest this morning. Our regular Tuesday panel are seated and they will analyze the big stories of the day. I have Professor Daniel Bruce, who is a clinical psychologist, and Mr. John Kukujani, who is a forensic psychiatrist. And gentlemen, welcome once again to the breakfast table, and thank you for joining us for this conversation. I'll take your quick thoughts, what's been running through your mind since the start of the week, perhaps even throughout the previous week that ended, and then I'll get started on. I'll start with you, Professor Bruce. What's on your mind this morning?
What's on my mind this morning? I have two major issues.
Two,
on my
okay.
mind. Yes. The first one is having observed our parliamentarians, their behavior. It seems that we are all condemning it and criticizing that it is not good of our honorable members we queue and elected to represent us in parliament. But it is not good enough just to always bombard them, criticize them, and use unpalatable words on them. So I put it on myself as how can I also contribute to helping them in putting up honorable behavior as their title bestow upon them. So I looked through and I've got this book. The title is The Daily Stoic 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living, written by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. It's like morning devotion book. Every day you take one wisdom, you reflect on it, and see how best you can use it. But please, if you like, today is 11 February.
Okay.
You can just open to 11 February and you read.
Oh, every day has one.
Every day one has. 366.
Okay.
It's from 1st January to 31st of this month.
I think we are the 11th February.
Yeah.
Hero or Nero? Our soul is sometimes a king and sometimes a tyrant. A king, by attending to what is honorable, protects the good health of the body in its care and gives it no base or sordid command. But an uncontrolled, desire-fueled, overindulged soul is turned from a king into that most feared and detested thing, a tyrant.
Yes.
Seneca, Moral Letters.
So that's
interesting. So
that's
there's a bit more to read there. But
so it is explained. The soul in us, if it goes after honorable things of a king, and everybody will respect you. But if the same soul chases after uncontrolled impulses, behaviors that are not controlled by our feelings, you'll be labeled as a tyrant.
Interesting.
So you choose to become a hero or a Nero. So if you take daily doses of this, you are restructuring your personality, and before you realize, you are becoming an honorable person in society, impacting and influencing people, transforming lives and shaping people's destinies.
I'll keep this book.
So I would like you to take that book, the picture of it, send it to Parliament. All of them must have a copy. Every day before they start business, they must read one and reflect upon it. Number two, you see, I've been hearing cases of people going, NDC supporters, going to their MP's offices, vandalizing the offices with the excuse that, why is that our MP will later is not appointed a minister? To start with, it is becoming a parliamentarian. It's not based on condition that you'll be appointed a minister. We elected you to be our parliamentarian. That stops it. So if it is the wisdom of the appointing authorities of the president, he decides that he has seen some goodness in you and wants to make you a leader of a ministry, that is to his discretion. But you cannot say that because we voted for you as our MP, the president must of necessity appoint you as a minister.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not a guarantee. So what they are doing is sheer hooliganism and unnecessary aggression. Those things must stop.
Right. Mr. Chani, what's on your mind?
Good morning to everybody watching us. My worry and what perturbs me these days is how I noticed that people of the Gang group are not noticed in critical areas in governance these days. You know, and I find that worrying, very, very worrying. About 50, 60 years ago, the whole of the country was managed by Gang people who are very educated in medicine, in law, in the educational sector, and they actually manage the public sector. So you ask yourself, what has gone wrong? I will take this platform to encourage the government to start, as it were, having an exercise to encourage people to go back to school. Help the Ghana people to go back to school. If you can have meetings for the next 6-7 months, it will work because he has that clout. And in about 10 years' time, he will almost invariably find that there are Ghana people in critical areas in governance. It is very sad to know that that situation has deteriorated to a level that is unbelievable. And it's not to say, okay, they cannot do it. So please, I'll put that in the arms of the government to take it as his baby, that education is key. It is the very reason why we have lost a lot of our lands, because people cannot even understand what the indenture reads, what's in it. It's either it is lost or sometimes used as waste paper. And so when somebody wants to buy your land, take it. They don't value it. They don't look at where it stands, which area it is. And that is very worrying. It's all part of education. So I want this to be taken seriously. I'm doing my little bit. And I expect all Ghanaians to wake up and say, look, we are losing a lot. Let's wake up and do something about it. The other issue is to teach people how to think. There's a psychologist here. We tend to assume that people can think properly. A lot of people cannot think. They have to learn how to think. And the psychologist can help you. You think by reflections, you think by mulling, and you think by brainstorming. Reflections are that if you do something that is not working, don't continue doing it. You have to change the tactics. You brainstorm by having arguments, lively arguments with friends and colleagues, and something will pop up. That is the way forward. Mulling is lying down in the middle of the night about 2 o'clock, and you find the stories, your challenges are rotating in your mind. It will end up somewhere. That is the way to go. So 3 critical areas: mulling, reflections, and brainstorming. That's my word for this morning.
And if that's not a very psychiatric exercise for you, I don't know what is. A lot for us to think about this morning, and it's our favorite way to start your day just right. A lot of things are happening across the length and breadth of the country. We'll be discussing the corruption fight in some detail a bit later on. We'll also speak on the chaos in Parliament that is being investigated and the comments made by Mr. Rockson Nelson Dafiamekwa when he appeared before the ad hoc committee, taking responsibility for some of the actions there. The minority insisting that they will not be a part of that until they hear from the Speaker. But the big story today is the Council of State election that is underway across 16 regional capitals in the country to appoint the elected members of the Council of State. Now, we'll share some bit of information on what the Council of State is and what it does. It is an advisory body to the President, and it's composed of appointed and elected members. And the election of the representatives to the Council is conducted by the Electoral Commission. The general public is not open, so the election is not open to the general public. There is a strict electoral college system that is used in this election process, and we'll get the understanding when we connect with the EC official. To be eligible, you have to be a candidate, you have to be a registered voter and a citizen of Ghana and of sound mind. The winner is first past the post, so whoever gets the majority, that's the one that wins the day. But let's get some more details of what today's exercise is supposed to look like. Mr. Fred Tete is the Deputy Director, Research and Monitoring at the Electoral Commission. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Explain this electoral college system to us. It's not something that we are used to generally in Ghana when we go to the polls to vote. It's something that the US has mastered quite competently, and this is what we apply in our election to the Council of State for those representatives from the regions. Explain that process to me.
Thank you very much. In terms of the Council of State, the law that governs the Council of State could be found in Article 89 of the 1992 Constitution, particularly paragraph 3, clause 2. When you look at it carefully, there is another law that regulates the conduct of the elections that talks about the Electoral College, and this can be found in CI1. What the Electoral College means is a composition of either representatives of the people or a certain category of a section of society identified to conduct or to organize elections, or what we call to vote on behalf of the rest of the people of the country. So in this particular situation, we have the Electoral College composed of appointed or nominated assemblymen. So we have 261 assemblies in Ghana. Of these 261 assemblies, each assembly will nominate 2 persons into the Electoral College. And it is this group of people that have been nominated that are going to vote on behalf of the citizens of Ghana to elect the regional representatives to the Council of State.
So based on that, and depending on the number of assemblies that are in each region, the number of persons voting at the regional coordinating council offices across the country may change, if I understand you correctly.
Yes, you don't have an even number. So when you take, for example, Greater Accra, we have 29 assemblies. So we are talking about 58 assemblymen constituting the Electoral College. When you take a place like Ashanti region, you are talking about 86. A place like Bono, you're talking about 24. Let me go to a place like Uti region. You're talking about Uti has, 9. You're talking about 18 members. But the interesting thing in that, when you look at a place like Northeast, they have 12 members in the Electoral College. And apparently, 7 people are contested. So, 7 contested, 12 people are going to vote to pick one. So that's the kind of situation that you have. Some have larger numbers, others don't.
So when we hear elections, we hear of massive campaigns, or we expect massive campaigns. In the situation with the Council of States, at least from my side of town, which is Accra, it does not appear that you are hearing a lot about the candidates and what they are bringing to the table. Is it because of the Electoral College system that we are finding this almost silent campaign, if there is one?
Yes. When you are campaigning for who? And vote from who? Who are the people who are going to vote for you? So with the Electoral College system, it's more of a targeted group. So what the Electoral Commission did was to come out with what we call the notice of poll, which were pasted at the Regional Coordinating Council and the Electoral Commission offices. The other thing is that the details of all the candidates in the region were shared to all the assemblymen within the region. And the vice versa, the register, the names on the register was also shared to the candidates so that they can specifically go to them and then campaign. So that's the way we organize it. It is not open to the public, as you said. So you will not hear in any case, it is an advisory body. Okay? So until the president comes out, or an institution like the National Peace Council, other bodies that need their advice, consult or call on them for them to advise. So it's more of a technical group than a normal political kind of entity.
Based on the numbers, the voting time, which is the regular 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., is what you're implementing now.
Yes.
Is that okay? Isn't it too much time for too few people to vote?
No, I'm not getting your question.
I'm asking if 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. is not too much time, considering the small numbers who are voting today.
Well, per the law, that's supposed to be. But what the commission has done is looking at the numbers, like you said. If indeed you have a place like Ahafo region where 12 voters are voting, if in between 7 to 10, all the 12 voters from the Electoral College, the Electoral College has voted, why then do they have to wait? So it depends. If they are able to finish on time, we've instructed our regional directors to count and declare the results.
When and how will the results be declared?
There and then, as soon as we complete the process, counting is done, the results declared for the region. And then it will be compiled and then sent to the president, then published by the Electoral Commission in the Gazette.
And in this case, the winner is the one who first passed the post, is what you said. Okay.
Yes, it's a simple majority. So first past the post, so one vote can make a difference in this case. And then let me go to the figures. As of the end of nominations, we had 155 candidates filing to contest. As I speak to you now, we'll be receiving some kind of withdrawals. And early this morning, I received a letter from Western North that indicated that out of the 3 candidates contesting in the Western North, 1 person has withdrawn. So what it means is that 2 people are valid on the ballot to be voted.
Right.
So as of now, we have 153 candidates contesting, and the composition is 143 male candidates and 10 female candidates. Total number of candidates, 153. Total number of voters in the various 16 electoral college, totaling 552 expected voters across the country.
Mr. Tete, thank you. I'm sure we'll get back to you in the course of the day so that we get an understanding of how the process has gone.
Yes, I think, like you said, I think people should know that the venue of the Greater Accra election is the AMA Assembly Hall, close to the Kimbu Senior Technical School.
AMA
That's
Assembly
where the election is. The AMA Assembly, yes. That's where the voting is going on. In the other regions, they can find the venue at the Regional Coordinating Council Assembly Hall or Conference Hall.
Thank you, sir, for speaking to us this morning. Mr. Fred Tete is the Deputy Director, Research and Monitoring at the Electoral Commission, which is commanding the lead on today's Council of State election. Every region is going to vote for 1 person via the Electoral College system, who will be the elected member on the Council of State. So candidates are nominated and voted for, like we said, by the Electoral College, and they are comprised of representatives from municipal, metropolitan, and district assemblies in each region. The winner from each region becomes the representative, the elected representative to the council. The Council of State advises the president on national policies and governance. They review drafts, bills, and proposed laws. They offer counsel on key appointments, and they also have some counsel on ministers, Supreme Court appointees and justices, and other high-ranking officials. Overall, they help to ensure good governance and national stability, serving as a check and advisory body to the executive, and then ensuring that decisions made by the government are in the country's best interest. Prof, so today this process is going to continue.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? Quick one.
My thought is I'm concerned about the number of females. There are only 10.
153. 153 in total. 143 are male, 10 are females.
That is that is not good enough for us. It means each region is not even producing 1 female. Out of the 16 regions, we have only 10 female. It is not good. You know, women, according to MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, I said it here before, God made them in a way that they have 7 centers in their brain. And women, we have only 2. But it's like women are dominating most of the activities in politics. Women, you see, they can engage in multiple activities and all that. So let us encourage women to take more part in all these things. For me, I would think there must be a law that it must be 50-50. Let's push women. You see, when they are in their meetings and there is tempers rising, when women stand up to talk, I mean, tempers cool. We need you everywhere. So I'm encouraging and appealing that this number is not encouraging. The next time, at least, we should have about at least 100 women contesting, and we make our selections out of them.
The Daily Graphic has a story on page 18 reporting that 13 males are contesting in Accra. 13. There's 1 slot for every region, remember. So 13 males are contesting. Western region has 7 males and 2 females contesting the election, while Central region has 8 males and 1 female. There are 27 males and 2 females who have filed their nominations to contest in Bono East and Ahafo regions. And in the Bono region, 10 individuals have filed to compete for the slot, while 11 and 8 persons filed to contest in the Bono East and Ahafo regions, respectively. Northern region has 4 males contesting the regional council election. The Volta region having an all-male affair, 13 candidates as well. 11 candidates, all males, filed their nominations to contest in the Upper West region. And in the Upper East, there are 9 men who are contesting. Volta region, 13 people vying for the single slot with 12 candidates. 10 males and 2 females are seeking to represent the Ashanti region on the Council of State. Western North, 3 candidates, and the EC official is telling us 1 has withdrawn. So we have 2 now who are vying for this slot. Savannah region has 4 males vying. Oti region has 8 candidates in the race, and they are all male. The Northeast region has 7 men contesting. So that's gender breakdown for you. Zejani.
I hardly hear of this group somehow. I don't know why. Maybe I don't read the newspapers a lot, but I hardly hear of them. And I'm saying this because in the last government, a lot of issues that were going on, and the Council of State, I didn't hear nothing. And I was wondering, from what you said, that is there a criteria for being a member? Is there a requirement that you have to have before you are elected, or that everybody, who fits the script can go in there?
You need to be a Ghanaian, so let me get the details for you. To be eligible as a candidate, an individual must be a registered voter,
Right.
a citizen of Ghana, and of sound mind.
Right.
That's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
Right. So you see, if to advise the president, for example, it's a whole script, a whole ball, new game, so that if you don't have that competence, if I may use that word, you will not be able to direct the president. The president is constantly having issues around him. And therefore, the advisors have got to be very, very, very astute. You understand? And therefore, if we don't have within the group or the chairman, who I suspect should be a rep of the cabinet meetings, just as the National Security Advisor sees the president, he should also be tagged on to talk to the president about certain issues.
Okay, so the composition of the Council of State, there are ex-officio members on the team, which include former presidents of Ghana.
Okay.
So all our former presidents are ex-officio members of the Council of State.
Okay.
There are appointed members. The president appoints 11 members to the council, and then the 16 elected regional representatives. So they all come on board to make the Council of State.
So you bear the question that why didn't President Nana Akufo-Addo listen to any of them when issues were happening? Why? They couldn't get to talk to him properly?
But do you know that for a fact, that he didn't listen?
No, the issue of Galamsey was something that everybody spoke about, and he never changed his mind about it. I read a book about Julius Caesar again, and he constantly had a man in ancient Rome, had a man who was standing just by him all the time. And all he said to him was, thou art just a man.
You are just a man.
Thou art just a man. Just to keep him, because the chair, that presidential chair, can make you start thinking very, very differently. So I'm hoping that within this group, at least you get people who have the certain tact of speaking to the president. Other issues they can manage, but the president is somebody that, if he takes a decision, can go very far. His first year might probably be his wife. His second year should be the chairman of the Council of State, I would have thought. So that things that worry us, when it's mentioned to him, he'll quickly say, well, that's fine. I think we need to change course. Let's move with it. Yes.
So expect in the news today some details to be shared by our correspondents across the regions who will be monitoring the Council of State elections across the country. Another big story yesterday, the president received the report from Oral, and the Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa submitted the documents to His Excellency the President, citing 2,417 suspected cases of corruption. The graphic has the details on its front page. of the President directing the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, AG, Dr. Dominic Ayine, to initiate investigations immediately into the corruption cases uncovered by the Operation Recover All Loot or Oral Committee, with a view to prosecuting anyone found liable for corruption or corruption-related offenses. So the President said he has received the report and he's handing it over. Now the AG will conduct those investigations. Mr. Okudzeto-Ablakwa is telling us that we can save some $21 billion or retrieve $21 billion if these processes are followed through, or if the cases are thoroughly investigated, and then a request or the court determines that certain assets should be returned. That's how much money Mr. Ablakwa is saying that we will get as a country. So we showed you that report during the news, and I'll pick your thoughts on this development. I'll start with you, Mr. Jani. This is what the oral team has done so far. Your thoughts?
Right. Okay, so President Mahama won this election, huge margins. He must be allowed to do what he says should be done. In his manifesto, he spoke a lot about the oral. And you would have thought that the reason why people voted because of this corruption and all that. So if he says he's going to sort it, let him do the work that he wants to do without people constantly picking pieces. Oh, it can't be done. No. That is very retrogressive. You don't do that. You are speaking from hindsight. Who tells you that it's not going to work? Even if it makes 30%, 40, 50, 60% of it, it would have shown the way that corruption needs to be sorted out, because that is what is killing us. Look at the quotations that they give you there about how many billions of dollars in there.
21.
21 billions of dollars. You have a parcel of land, say, cantonment, an acre of land, they're selling for $3 million. You have acquired it from Lands Commission for about, say, $500,000. That money is supposed to be for Ghana. We could build schools under trees, the hospitals are choco, children walking naked around. We could use all that money. So if we talk about corruption, the idea about corruption is that somebody, in his own wisdom, has decided that he will steal the money that belongs to all of us. And we must take it back. I'll be happy if those who are involved in this matter could go back and say, I raise my hand, I'll give you your money back. No quarrels here. Our own property in Accra has been taken over by somebody who came from Jubilee House. Ama is the one supposed to be subsidiary over that land, and somebody from Jubilee has taken it. We are in court for 4 years. And why did Ama sell the land? Why did they sell it? So it tells you that buying government property is not the way forward at all. If Ama doesn't want the land, you send it back to the owners. That is my great-grandfather's descendants. That's the people that owns the land now. So I think oral is on the right path. There are other issues that needs to be sorted out. Those who have not done anything wrong, there's nothing to be worried about. He's not going to hang people around. I suspect Mr. Ayine is going to do all the right things. Set up tribunals, get judges, good judges, to go through the processes. And that to make us all happy. Look at the GBC. You need money to sort this place out. Look at some of your buildings and some of the studios. You need money. So we should all support corruption. And John Mahama is running, President Akufo-Addo told us he's a man in a hurry. I think we are now seeing that President Mahama is the man in a hurry. He's running and running and running. I'm so happy about that.
We don't support corruption of any kind.
Who does it?
Well, we brought JBC into a conversation about corruption.
No, I'm saying that you need money.
Okay.
And if you can save these monies, it can rehabilitate some of your studios that you need to work in, like the news department and all that. So it's accumulate the 3 billion. How many billions there?
Mr. Ablakwa said 21.
If they can give you $1 billion, don't you think GBC is going to change? Change dramatically. Maybe your wages might go up. So that's where I end my story.
Mr. Jani, so the specific findings of the oral committee have not been made public. I haven't cited the document, but this is the understanding that Mr. Ablakwa has, that now that he's handed it over, the report, to the president, who has now handed it over to the AG, some prosecutions should begin. Prof.
Yeah, it's a good news. Out there is a huge perception about the politicians that they hide behind politics to amass wealth, genuine or through other means. Now, this perception is making people to become suspicious about the truthfulness and reliability of the politician. We are in this country, we have heard about somebody, the late Sir John, after his death, when his will was read in public, we're all shocked that how can one person acquire such a wealth within a stipulated period of time? What work was he doing? And during the interview, we have heard so many things, the East Airport Hills and all that. So for us and others, we see politicians as someone who is corrupt. They are only interested in making wealth for themselves at the expense of we the voters. So if this committee, ORA, has established that it is true that previous people in government have amassed wealth to the tune of $21 billion, then our perception is right. So if it is true, this amount must be retrieved from whoever or group of people who, through amassing such properties and wealth, have brought us this far. If we have this money, I think we can rehabilitate the motorway. We can have a new express motorway. But why should this money be in the pocket of only a few people? So our politicians, they must be very careful. So I support this aura that let us go into the details and fish out people who, in one way or the other, contribute to this loss to the states. Why should we go this? We have indicted ourselves that, look, we are not people who should be trusted with power. Where land for what? Me, my worry is that they acquire wealth, land, and all these things, but they will never attempt to buy a place where, if they are called to come back to heaven, they will be buried. People will have to go and look for places for them to be buried. So please, Ora, kudos to the team, Martin Kpebu and the rest. They must make sure that they retrieve every government property owned by anyone, genuinely or not. You are not supposed to use political power to acquire. Me, I know some people, after their tenure of office, they have acquired government property.
The minority in Parliament declined to appear before the oral committee, and they cited concerns over its legitimacy and operations. They said that oral lacked a legal mandate, and they perceived it as a harassment tool. Now that a report is ready from the same team that the minority more or less has refused to acknowledge, how do you think that will play out now that it's been handed over to the AG?
We love Ghana, and there is a perception, our opinion, that some people have looted Ghana. Whether I am a minority or majority, let us come together and chase these people and retrieve government money from them. So whether they withdraw or not, we just want our money or government property to be returned to the states. He said it, the Ghanaians, having grabbed from you.
My own.
There is no space there. There is no space there.
How?
There is no space there.
We'll end up in court. I'll see you in court.
So, whether Ora has legal backing or not, they have been quoting the same constitution that Ghanaian citizens. You see, when the former president was at the Black Star Square where he was sworn into office, he said, we should not be spectators. We should be citizens. He really called on all of us that if you see someone stealing government property, report the person. Is it not Ora? That don't sit down and look at people destroying state property, looting government property, misusing and misapplying government resources. The former president called on all of us, be citizens and not spectators. He said, I will protect the public purse. All these things he said that. Now, if you have realized that some people have stolen from the public purse, and let's look for these people, some group of people will say, we will not be part of that. Do you love Ghana or you hate Ghana? And you are doing things that this kind of thievery must continue. We will not allow it.
Prof, can I come in 1 minute there? I
Yes,
know a lawyer who, as it were, was given literally an opportunity not to work as a lawyer because he was stopping people from grabbing lands.
Yeah.
You understand? And he has to be out of work for a year. How do you do that? How do you do that? You know, I'm just amazed as to the greed, because you see, greed, this land and this money, how much money do you need to spend in a day or buy a car and look after your wife and children and a house? How much do you need?
So, because we are talking about corruption and the perception of corruption, the other concerns that I've monitored, Manasseh Zuri wrote extensively on this on his social media handles, is that if the president wants to appear to be fighting corruption, then he needs to let the cases in court that people were standing trial for, also on causing financial loss, he needed to have allowed those cases to travel the length of the judicial system and for a court to determine the outcome of the cases rather than perhaps the AG withdrawing the cases. And I'm referring to Dr. Stephen Opuni and Seidu Agongo's matter with Cocoa Board. There is also the Johnson Pandit Esiama matter, acting governor of the Bank of Ghana, and other things. The say no to Galamsey protesters. The AG has also indicated that he wants to withdraw, or he has withdrawn the case. So why not allow the court process or the justice process to continue and then make a determination than withdraw, because it sends a signal or a perception, creates a picture
it does, and we
that
must
there is something going on.
We must work hard to as it were, rationalize the thinking of that, because the AG had about 8 years or more to prosecute these people in court. I go to court almost every day. I have about 4 cases in court. I go to, and I meet people, Mr. Pune and other people in court almost every other time, and you don't prosecute them. Why? You have all the lawyers in the world and all the system. When you're in governance, you're in government, you have a lot at your disposal to prosecute. And 8 years you can't prosecute. Why? Well, what's the problem? Almost invariably, people will start thinking that this is political prosecution. Almost invariably, that's the conclusion people will come to. And so I'm happy that the case has been stopped. Their lives can come back to normal. Their wives and children will have some relief and peace of mind to sleep in their beds, rather than this torment of 8 years. If somebody has stolen, would it take you 8 years to prosecute somebody?
The same administration that was accused of being a clearing agent. You are referring to the previous administration?
Yeah, exactly.
The previous administration? That they were a clearing agent?
The accusation against Nane's government at the time from the NDC side was that the government was more or less a clearing agent of its officials or whoever had been named on their side to be involved in anything corruption related.
Well, I'm not sure about what you say. Now, all I know is that the way they had all the facilities and the lawyers and couldn't prosecute them meant that they were not going to do it.
Okay.
And that they were going to drive them and harass them, torment them, embarrass them, because almost every day your newspapers will say, Mr. Opuni is in court. Every other day, Mr. Opuni is in court. And that's what they like.
Prof, what do you think? Because on one hand, there's the, let's fight corruption together, let's make sure we recover all the lost assets. And then there is this side where corruption-related cases are in court and the AG is withdrawing them, painting a perception that, perhaps appointees, friends, well-wishers of the administration may be on the receiving end of the AG's, authority to discontinue cases.
Okay. I also hold the view of Manasseh Zuri. We need to trust our own judicial system and believe that whatever case you send there, though it may be slow, but one day it shall come to the end and the truth will emerge. But say as it may be, in this case, the only reason why people may be saying all this is because there is no explanation to as to the reason why those cases are dropped. So if you want to drop the charges against them, why don't you hold a press conference and give Ghanaians the reason for which you are dropping all these cases? Right. You only know.
The reason for the legal discretion.
Yeah. So let us know upon what basis are the cases dropped against them. We are not aware. So I'll say that you say you are fighting corruption and then you yourself, you are dropping charges against people who have been labeled as corrupt. So the underlying factor is lack of information. That's the reason why those cases have to be dropped. So they have to come back to us, explain why. If you are well educated,
I totally agree
either
with
we
that.
keep quiet or we praise you or we criticize you. But now they have opened themselves to the floodgates of criticism. People say, oh, you are not truthful. You are fighting against corruption, but in your own case, you are dropping it. So they should come out and tell us the reasons why. Other than that, our perception, I will join mine with Manasseh Azuri.
Prof, thank you for sitting with us this morning. And I'm sure you won't believe it, but we've done this for almost an hour now.
Is
And
that
it's
right?
time to end and wrap up this segment. I wish you both a pleasant day.
Right.
Prof, thank you for the book.
Oh, no,
I think
I'll take it back.
I'll
Because
read after you.
Yeah,
when you're done.
No, I will not finish because every day
Every
you
day
have
there's
to
one.
read.
Okay, so
it's-
when you read it, take a screenshot and send it to me.
take
So
a
that every day we'll
screenshot
learn
and then-
it together.
Okay.
So
okay.
this is the book recommended by Prof. Bruce. He says that we all can be better people, and I think that we all should strive to do same. I've been doing this with Professor Daniel Bruce. He is a clinical psychologist, and Mr. Kuku Chani. He is John. Forensic psychiatrist. Thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you.
On-
Did you know that I developed a coherent policy for the collection of TV licenses for GBC some 10 years ago?
Okay, I think
Yes.
our marketing team would be interested in hearing
Yes,
this. So right after the segment, let's have
Yes,
a
yes. I
discussion.
developed it and then somebody messed it up. Somebody messed it up.
Thank you for sitting through this segment with us. We'll take a quick break. When we return, there are conversations on marriage, divorce. There are also talks with Wollassie, and all that will be served on this breakfast table. This is First Choice High Protein Recovery Drink. Get it. It's on the market now. We'll be back.
Thank you, Thelma.
Yeah.